All right, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. When it comes to business credit, it's one of those topics that everyone wants to know about, especially if you're a startup or if you have been in business for a couple of years, or even if you've been riding off of your personal credit cards. Look, we've all been there, including myself, which is how I really got into this space. I started to realize, wait a minute, there's a new world when it comes to the credit space, or when it comes to credit, that I think more people need to know about and tap into, which is how these videos started coming about. You guys started asking a bunch of questions, and well, we started making these videos catered to answering those questions. But like anything else, right? Doesn't matter what industry, doesn't matter what YouTube channel, it doesn't matter what the topic is, like anything else, with information comes misinformation, and with misinformation, it usually comes from myths. And so in this video, I am going to be breaking down 4 different myths that, well, unfortunately, have taken such a strong crowd behind it, that just backing it up, and they're making statements when it really should be in forms of questions, right? It's nothing more dangerous than making a statement when it really should be posed as a question. So in this video, again, we're gonna be breaking down those 4 myths. If you like this type of content, then consider hitting that subscribe button down below and hit that like, because it does help this content reach a larger audience that can help them in the same way that it can benefit you. Let's get to work. So the first myth that I want to break down, that it's a complete misnomer. I see it time and time again, either in the comments, either on my TikToks, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, either on my page or someone else's page. People say you cannot get business funding with a brand new LLC, and that is a big false. I believe that a lot of people get it confused that you cannot get business funding, and they're confusing personally guarantee with non-personal guarantee. So let's go ahead and break down the difference, right? What's the difference, especially if you're new to the business credit space? Simply put, a personal guarantee or a personal guarantor, a PG, means that you are going to get approved, or you are going to get access to business credits using your own social security number, or another way that I can put it, using your own credit. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, Irv, what if I don't want to use my own credit? There are some credit cards out there, which we've done reviews on, that doesn't go off of a PG. They're out there. They're more of a charge card style, but you do have some options. But when someone says there's no way that you can access any funding as a brand new LLC, myself, I teach my students and my clients all the time how to go out and get $50, $60, even $100,000 worth of business funding with 1 LLC, 2 LLCs, even 3 brand new LLCs on day 1, all of them under 90 days. Now, obviously, there's a method and there's a strategy behind how you want to move around some of the applications, the type of credit unions you should go after, the type of banks, what you need to maybe watch out for on some of the applications, which obviously we won't be able to get to in this video. But to make a long story short and to answer this question, you can 100% get business funding even if your LLC is a day old through a personal guarantee route or through a non-PG route. This next myth, I can see how it gets a little confusing, and that's this. I've had my LLC, or I've been in business for X amount of years, so it must mean that I've built business credit. Again, a complete myth. I wish it was like that. If I'm honest with you, I wish that if someone opened up an LLC and their EIN, any purchases that they made, I wish that they would be able to get that reported over to the credit bureaus, the Dun & Bradstreets, the Experian, the Equifax Business, the commercials, right? But the way that the system is set up, you don't necessarily get trade lines reported just because you made a purchase. So much so that even if you're using Uline, even if you're using Granger, even if you're using Quill, a lot of people are starting to see that just because you make a purchase with some of these companies and you buy office supplies and you buy computer paper, or you buy ink and you buy staples, whatever it is, right? So that you can go ahead and get that trade line reported. Some of those companies are starting to catch on that they're being used as a stepping stool so that you can get to maybe some tier 2 or some tier 3 type of trade lines. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that some of the people that you're currently doing business with right now. So let's say that you have been in business for 3 years and you're a hairstylist and you get your products from a specific third-party company, right? What you want to do is you want to reach out to that third-party company and you want to ask them if they've been able to report anything over to your Dun & Bradstreet, since it's going to be a vendor account. But obviously you got to make sure that you have your DNB number, your DUNS number. If you have no idea how to get that, I'll maybe go ahead and link a video so that you can go ahead and run that up real quick, because it's not going to report unless you have that DUNS number first. So you are going to get yourself that DUNS number first, and then you're going to check in with that company that maybe you've been doing business with for a couple years. And if they haven't been reporting, you want to ask them, hey, can you go ahead and report this over to Dun & Bradstreet? I'm trying to build up my business credit profile. Sometimes you can do this with a simple phone call. Sometimes, like I teach a lot of my clients, we can go ahead and send them letters as to how and why they should report our products and our purchases over to Dun & Bradstreet. This is going to be one of the fastest ways that you can pretty much fast track building up your business credit profile. If you do this the right way, you should be able to get a paydex score of 80 to 90 out of 100, which is considered good to excellent, in less than 30 days. This third myth is a tricky one, and I can see how I can get a little confusing, and that's this. Business and personal credit all gets reported the same. Now, I can see how that gets a little confusing, right? Because they both have bureaus. On the personal side, you have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And on the business side, you have really 3 of the main ones, and that's going to be really 4. If you go with FICO Small Business, you have TransUnion. I'm sorry, not TransUnion. You have Experian, you have Equifax, and then you have Dun & Bradstreet. You can see how it gets a little confusing there, right? But when it comes to the way that they report, it varies, and it's different because remember, one of them is going to go solely off of your EIN and your business name, while the other one is going to go off of your personal guarantee, which is your social security number. But here's where things get a little tricky. Irv, what happens if I personally guaranteed something? Or what happens if maybe I opened up a Chase account and I know for a fact that Chase, they're not just going to ask for my EIN, but they're also going to ask for my social. What happens there? Well, one thing that you have to know, especially as you start going after different lines of credit, is when you get business credit, whatever amount you have on here, so in credit utilization, let's say that you have $80,000 and you're hovering around $60,000 to $70,000, obviously the cost of doing business. A fear is that that's going to plummet your personal score, because the credit utilization, you've now tacked on $70,000 worth of recurring debt that has to do with your business, not with your personal. So what you want to keep in mind is you want to open up lines of credit and accounts that are not going to report over on your personal credit. They're out there, right? I know Chase is not going to report over on your personal, from your business over to your personal, unless you go into default, or unless you are over 120 days late. Same thing with Bank of America. Same thing with Wells Fargo. You want to start to study, okay, if I am going to get lending from this specific bank, from this credit union, or from this portfolio lender, if maybe you're getting a bit more creative with your financing, then you want to flat out ask them, hey, if I get this business line of credit, is this going to reflect over on my personal side if I, let's say, wanted to personally guarantee it? Now, the other side of it is if you're just maybe going off of vendor accounts, then this isn't something that you have to worry about as much, because when it comes to vendor accounts, they're going to report mainly over to Dun & Bradstreet, and Dun & Bradstreet is its own big business credit bureau that has nothing to do with the personal side. And last but not least, and if you found value in this content, then again, consider hitting that like button down below, because it does help this content reach a larger audience, is this. Irv, I have good personal credit, so this doesn't mean that I need business credit. Now, obviously, if you don't run a business, or if you don't plan on running a business, then 100%, then you shouldn't even be watching this video. But if you're like me, you're an entrepreneur, you have a couple of employees, maybe you have a couple of company vehicles that you have. Maybe you're looking to scale your business, whether you are in the 6 figures or you're in the 7-figure range, whatever it is, my business owners, you guys, my entrepreneurs, my solopreneurs, you want to make sure that even if you have good personal credit, which by the way, it's going to help you on the back end to fast track building your business credit, because you can get quick cash injections by personally guaranteeing certain lines of credit, you still want to have business credit because it's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. Because remember what we mentioned earlier, A, business credit built correctly is not going to affect your personal credit because it's not going to report. And B, or number two, you are going to have a much easier time when you go to file your taxes, because one of the best ways that you can differentiate, and I know that if you have an accountant, they're definitely going to tell you this. One of the easiest ways that you can differentiate personal expenses from business expenses, and so it doesn't get seen as commingling, and so it doesn't raise a red flag with the IRS, which is going to audit you. You want to have your business checking and savings and your personal checking and savings, which is how you want to build out your business credit profiles anyways. And so you're going to have your business credit cards. So anytime that you run a transaction that's for your business, whether it's for transportation, whether it's for buying products, whether it's for servicing your clients, whether it's for maybe hiring help or outsourcing, you're gonna run it up with your business credit card. If you went out to dinner by yourself, had nothing to do with your business, obviously you are going to use your personal credit card. If you have a trucking company and you are obviously on the road, or your drivers are on the road, stop it when you are using your personal credit card to either fund their trips or to fund your own trip. If maybe you're an owner operator, you want to get fleet cards, which is more of a tier 2, tier 3 type of credit card when you're building out your business credit profile. If you found value in this content, again, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Join the official community. Don't forget that anytime I'm not posting on here, I'm posting over on the Insight with Irv show, which is my podcast style channel. So if you like what we have going on over here, you'll love what we have going on over there. And don't forget that we have a complete credit playlist that you can check out here on this channel as well. Once again, I appreciate you guys checking me out. Till next time, everyone, I will see you in the next video.